Hello all, welcome to Abe's Analysis and Insight. For this discussion, I'd like to join along with others around the discussion on Frieda River Project, and wanted to see whether it will be PNG's biggest opportunity or its next environmental disaster waiting to happen. Now, as many of us know, deep beneath the mountains of Papua New Guinea in the east and west Sepik provinces lies the underdeveloped copper gold deposit. Those that support the project says that the Frieda River Project could generate billions of kina, create thousands of jobs, and be the engine that powers PNG's economy into the future. Critics on the other hand have warned that it could threaten one of the large or the last great river system, which is the mighty Sepik River. But couple of questions that I believe people are not asking is that if Ok Tedi has successfully reduced its acid generating tailings through pyrite treatment, why can't Frieda do the same? And the other question is this really a battle between mining and the environment, or is it a battle between outdated perception and modern engineering? So let's explore the conversation and come to a conclusion. Now, the Frieda River Project isn't just another mining project. It is one of the largest underdeveloped copper gold deposit anywhere in the world, and at a time when copper has become the critical metal powering electric vehicles, renewable energy systems, battery storage facilities, and modern power grids around the world, Frieda River sits on a resource that the world desperately need. So for Papua New Guinea, the timing couldn't be more right or significant, because as a nation we continue to face foreign exchange shortages, infrastructure challenges, rising public debt, rising inflation, rising cost of living, limited formal employment opportunities, and many other challenges. A lot of people, or many, see the Frieda River Project as the next major economic pillar capable of driving growth for decades. But yet, despite this enormous potential, the project still remains underdeveloped for decades, and the main reason being its location, as the deposit lies in one of the most remote and challenging environments on the earth. So building the project will not be simply about mining. It is about creating a mining township in the middle of the forest, and you can imagine that everything will be built from scratch. And those things include roads, power generation, processing facilities, accommodation, water management systems, and so on, in a region where extreme rainfall is normal. Flooding occurs frequently. It has a difficult terrain, and currently there's limited infrastructure to the site or location. So simply transporting equipment into the area is a massive engineering challenge in itself. And to address energy requirements, developers have proposed an integrated hydroelectric infrastructure designed to provide long-term power while reducing the reliance on diesel. Now that hydro integrated electric system works simultaneously with the tailings containment dam, where you will have the processing flotation tailing as well as the mine waste rock to be submerged deep beneath the dam, and water is on the top to cover the waste to prevent acid generation. And in doing so, when the tail is contained, the water at the top will be used for hydroelectricity or provide power. So saboteurs have called this innovative, yet critics have warned that it's still risky, which brings us to the heart of the controversy. Now, when most people hear the words mine waste, they immediately think pollution, but the reality is more complex. So let's talk about tailings. Now, tailings is or will be from the final processing plant discard, which for Frieda's case will be the flotation tailings. That's the waste. Once you remove the gold and copper through the concentrate, you'll be remain with the tailings, which is discarded. Now, the biggest concern or the environmental concern will often comes from the sulfide minerals such as pyrite in the flotation tailing, because if pyrite is exposed to oxygen and water, it has the potential to generate sulfuric acid, which can contaminate waterways. So historically, this has been one of the major challenges for many mining operations around the world. However, as we all know, technology has evolved, and this is where the Ok Tedi enters the conversation. Now, many people are aware or are unaware rather, that Ok Tedi has spent years improving its environmental management systems, and one of its most significant achievement has been the recovery and treatment of pyrite before the final disposal. Now, by separating the sulfide mineral from the tailing stream, Ok Tedi has reduced its acid generation and generation potential, and has improved its downstream water quality outcomes. So naturally a question emerges, and that question is, why can't Frieda River do the same? The answer is yes, it can. Technically, there's nothing preventing Frieda from incorporating pyrite recovery circuits, advanced flotation systems, and modern geochemical controls into its processing flow sheet design. In fact, many modern copper mines around the world do exactly that, and this is where public debate becomes oversimplified a bit. The issue is not whether pyrite can be managed. The issue is whether the entire mine waste management system can be trusted over decades. Now, what's really worrying the expert is that even if Frieda removes most of the pyrite from its tailings, several concerns remain. First, the volume. Now, the mine could potentially generate billions of tons of waste over its lifetime, as well as the waste rock. If dumped anywhere else around the site, it could potentially produce acid drainage than the tailings themselves. The third is the location of the containment dam. It's located along the Sepik Plains, where the area is geotechnically not stable, and it also has the Sepik River, which is one of the last world's most intact river systems. So unlike heavily industrialized region, the Sepik still supports its ecosystem and communities that have existed largely unchanged for 1,000 years. And so now the the biggest concern is may not be the chemistry at all. The biggest concern is the structural integrity of the dam, because even if pyrite is perfectly treated, it will still become a problem if the containment system fails. So for many experts, the question is not will pyrite cause contamination. The question is, can the storage facility safely contain the mine waste for many generations? Now, as all of us know, for the people of the Sepik, the debate is not merely technical, because the river is the highway, the river is the source of livelihood, the supermarket. The river is the cultural identity, the history, and the river is obviously their future. So hundreds of communities depend directly on the health of the river system, and many fear that even a small environmental changes can or could create irreversible impacts. So for them, the issue extends far beyond economics. The issue is more about the environment and about preserving a way of life. Now, many still continue to argue that Frieda could potentially generate billions of kina in revenue, and the project remains a catalyst or promise to create jobs, build infrastructure, create business opportunities, and export earnings. But for PNG, the history teaches us a very cruel lesson, and that lesson is that we've had so many mines that operated before and are currently operating, and we have not seen the benefits from the mine translated to ordinary citizens at an impact and outcome level. We are rich in resources, yet living living in poverty, and that's what many economists termed as the resource curse. So the real challenge will not be about extracting copper. The real challenge is in ensuring that the wealth generated from the project reaches ordinary citizens and fund hospitals, schools, roads, power system, and so on. And the question is, will they fulfill those promises, or will they disappear into inefficiency, administrative overhead, or corruption? And that question remains unanswered. Now, in conclusion, after we've examined both sides of the argument, one conclusion becomes clear, and that conclusion is that the debate over Frieda River is not a simple choice between mining and the environment, because modern mining is capable of managing many of the risks that existed decades ago. Pyrite can be separated, acid generation can be reduced, water quality can be monitored, and many engineering solutions exist. The real test is whether those solutions are designed, funded, monitored, and maintained for generations. Because the greatest threat to Frieda River may not be the chemistry of the tailings. The greatest threat may be the long-term discipline required to manage the tailings responsibly. If the project proceeds with world-class engineering, transparent oversight, independent monitoring, and genuine community participation, Frieda River could become a model for modern engineering in Papua New Guinea in terms of in the mining space. Now, if those safeguards fail, the consequences could be measured not in just years, but in decades or even centuries. Frieda River forces Papua New Guineans to answer one of the most defining questions of of the 21st century, and that is, can a developing nation uses its natural resources to create prosperity without sacrificing the ecosystem that sustains its people. Now, beneath the mountains lies the gold and copper worth billions, and on the other end, flowing through the valley, you have the Sepik River, an ancient living system that no amount of money can replace. The future of Frieda River will ultimately depend on whether PNG can prove that economic development and environmental stewardship are not enemies, but partners. Because the true measure of success won't be about how much the copper leaves the mine. It will be whether the Sepik River remains healthy long after the last ounce of gold or a ton of copper has been produced. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is Frieda River the greatest opportunity or a risk too great to take? If you've enjoyed this discussion, make sure to like and share or comment. As always, thanks for your time. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.